Get ready to sink your teeth into the mysterious world of Bloodscream, the figure that's as terrifying as he is intriguing. A not-so-ordinary vampire-like being roaming the Marvel Universe, causing havoc wherever he goes. But he's not your typical cape-wearing, garlic-hating bloodsucker. Bloodscream brings a whole new meaning to the word supernatural. So, gather round, nerds, as we dive headfirst into the dark and twisted tale of Bloodscream. A roller coaster ride of action, mayhem, and more vampiric vibes than you can shake a wooden stake at. This is one blood-curdling adventure you won't want to miss. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The cursed life of Bloodscream begins. In the 16th century, there was a man named Zachariah Ravenscraft. He started as a trainee medical intern under a doctor, but later became a naval surgeon, or Sawbones, for Sir Francis Drake's. It was an adventurous life. But things took a dark turn during an attack on a Spanish galleon. Poor Zachariah got fatally injured. Now here's where things get really weird. Sir Drake asked for the help of a so-called shaman to save Zachariah's life. Unknown to Sir Drake, this shaman was no ordinary healer. He was a full-on necromancer. Instead of bringing Zachariah back to life, he cursed him, turning him into a pseudo-vampire stuck somewhere between life and death. Although this was the only way the necromancer could hold on to Zachariah, this pretty much ruined his life. He'd better be dead than live like a vampire, which he was actually not. Naturally, Zachariah was furious about being turned into such a supernatural freak. He demanded the necromancer to reverse the curse. The only cure for him was a potion made from the root of mandrake, spleen of whale, and blood of a man who ageth not. So where could he find such a guy? The necromancer's answer was bizarrely simple. They go to war. Well, you can't argue with that logic, right? So off Zachariah went, fighting in every war he could find, until he ended up serving as a soldier for Nazi Germany during World War II. Yes, the dude had quite a wild ride through history. It was during the Battle of Normandy when he first crossed paths with the man we all know as Logan, or later, the infamous Wolverine. They duked it out, and Zachariah ended up with a nasty stab wound, thanks to Logan. But that was just the beginning of their epic rivalry. It's not just the cure that is weird. To add more drama, Bloodscream can only be killed by a weapon made from metal not made by man. Q, the honor sword of Clan Yashida, forged from a fallen meteorite. 50 years later, in the bustling city of Madripoor, Zachariah, now known as Bloodsport, had a fateful reunion with Wolverine. He couldn't help but notice that Logan hadn't aged a day since their last encounter. This revelation got Zachariah thinking that maybe Wolverine's blood could be the key to reversing his vampiric fate. And so, a new chapter of their blood-soaked feud began. That is just the beginning of the cursed life of Bloodscream, a once skilled surgeon turned vampiric pseudo-immortal with a thirst for Wolverine's blood. It's a tale of rivalry, revenge, and enough supernatural twists to keep any nerd's heart pounding. Bloodscream starts his hunt for Wolverine with Roughhouse. In the modern era, Bloodscream had found himself an interesting partner in Roughhouse, an exile from the Asgardian worlds. The two of them formed an unlikely duo and worked as mercenaries, taking up the job under General Win Coy in the Principality of Madripoor. The general had grand ambitions to become the top crime lord in Madripoor and saw an opportunity to eliminate his rival, the infamous Tiger. He employed Bloodscream and his mate for the needful. While these guys were absolute marvels at their jobs, Bloodscream had an unusual mode of driving him, looking for his cure, the immortal man, or rather the blood of an immortal man. They both set out on a blood-soaked path, acting as enforcers for General Coy. Their first task was to send a chilling message to Tiger by hunting down and murdering Chancellor Ranjamarian, who intended to support Tiger to her employer, Prince Baran. The assassins left a trail of death and intimidation, making it clear that war was brewing in Madripoor. In the chaos that followed, Bloodscream and Roughhouse attacked Tiger's private car, trying to eliminate her on the way to meet with Prince Baran. Little did they know that the driver, known as Patch, was none other than the X-Man Wolverine in disguise. A fierce battle ensued, and Tiger's life hung in the balance. Things took an unexpected turn when General Coy's niece, Shion, also known as Karma, entered the scene. A former X-Man in training, she despised her uncle's criminal ways and used her mental possession powers to control Bloodscream and Roughhouse briefly, allowing Wolverine to rescue Tiger. However, Bloodscream's supernatural abilities weren't easily thwarted. He could track anyone whose blood he had sampled. which meant Tiger's escape was only temporary. He tracked her down to the offices of Landau, Luckman, and Lake, where a fierce confrontation followed. Bloodscream's thirst for her blood intensified, and he relished the link their blood had created. The battle escalated as General Koi's plans to take over Madripoor plunged the city into chaos. Wolverine, Tiger, and their allies fought against Bloodscream and Roughhouse to prevent Koi's rise to power. Bloodscream's arrogance about being invulnerable to mortal weapons was met with surprising revelations, as he encountered seemingly indestructible armor and weapons. The conflict drew the attention of Prince Baran and his palace guards, who intervened to end the fighting and broker a compromise. A tense negotiation led to an agreement, with both Tiger and General Koi becoming co-crime lords under Prince Baran's rule. Bloodscream and Roughhouse continued to serve General Koi as enforcers in the criminal underworld. As the dust settled in Madripoor, it became clear that Bloodscream's quest for a cure, his deadly partnership with Roughhouse, and his thirst for immortal blood had set the stage for a gripping and blood-soaked tale. Bloodscream's marvelous journey in the comics. We know Bloodscream, the vampiric villain who has a knack for bad partnerships. This undead dude, along with his sometimes buddy Roughhouse, made a name for themselves as enforcers for various criminal organizations. They were like the bad boys you don't want to mess with, bloodthirsty and ready to kick some butt. Their journey took them to Canada, where they teamed up with Scylla Markham. But don't be shocked to hear that Bloodscream sucked the life out of her to power up for a showdown with Wolverine. Come on, don't forget he is partly a vampire. You gotta give him that. The battle with Wolverine ended up being a one-stroke drive-by with a demonic blade, and it almost ended Bloodscream's undead career. But wait, there's more. In Canada, he found new partners in the form of Albert and LCD. Then things got really wild when he joined forces with Belasco, who claimed he was trying to save the world. But Belasco was actually trying to conquer the Nagarai, those pesky interdimensional invaders. Bloodscream was having none of that nonsense, and promptly sent Belasco packing through a portal to the demonic dimension. You'd think that was enough drama for one undead life, but nope. Bloodscream got mixed up with Malveus, and that dude took control of his mind. Under Malveus' spell, Bloodscream became the handler for vermin, basically procuring snacks for their little feasts. Fortunately, gods of the Inuits intervened and sent Malveus to the Wendigo's dimension, freeing Bloodscream from that crazy partnership. But his adventures didn't stop there. He later teamed up with Roughhouse once more to try and get their hands on the Venom symbiote at an auction. These guys really had a thing for trying to take on powerful entities. Finally, he found his way to Madripoor, working for Hydra, and got tangled up in a fight with the Shadow Initiative. Seems like everywhere this vamp went, trouble followed. This was Bloodscream's marvelous journey in the comics. A villain with a taste for not-so-great partnerships, and a penchant for getting himself into all sorts of hairy situations. Bloodscream's mission to capture Old Man Logan. In a clash of claws and cunning, Bloodscream found himself on a brand new mission to capture none other than the battle-hardened Old Man Logan. The mastermind behind this sinister plot was none other than the infamous Kraven the Hunter, who saw the opportunity to pit two formidable hunters against each other. Tracking Logan's trail to the wilds of New Jersey, Bloodscream and his trusty partner, Roughhouse, launched a brutal ambush. They played dirty, employing cunning tactics to distract the old man long enough to snatch him away for Kraven's twisted plans. And just like that, Logan was in for the fight of his life, as he was transported to the dangerous and treacherous Savage Land, a place teeming with more dangers than a comic book store on Free Comic Book Day. The stage was set for a monumental showdown, as Logan, fueled by all his might and strength, faced off against the deadly Kraven. It was a dream matchup that comic book nerds had been yearning for, a battle that would push both hunters to their limits and beyond. Though primarily known as a nemesis to Spider-Man, Kraven's style and lethal prowess were a perfect match for Wolverine's ferocity. But that wasn't all. The unexpected twist came when Bloodscream and Roughhouse stepped into the fray, making it a reunion of forgotten Wolverine villains. These classic baddies, often overshadowed by the likes of Sabretooth and Omega Red, were back in action, ready to prove their mettle. However, amidst the heart-pounding action and adrenaline-pumping battles, the fight took a somewhat predictable turn. The Savage Land, with its prehistoric wonders and lethal predators lurking at every turn, added a touch of cliché to the encounter. While it certainly heightened the stakes, some wondered if the battle could have been even more epic if confined to a more unconventional setting. In the end, though, as claws clashed and fangs thirsted for blood, readers were treated to an exhilarating spectacle, a matchup for the ages. Bloodscream's mission to capture Old Man Logan proved to be a thrilling roller coaster ride, showcasing the resilience and determination of Marvel's beloved mutants.
Every night at 5, he turns into a bar. Get it?
Other media appearance of Bloodscream. Alright, time to dive into Bloodscream's wild adventures beyond the comics. Get ready for some animated action and video game battles. First up, X-Men, the animated series. Bloodscream and Roughhouse made a quick cameo in the episode Whatever It Takes, episode 16. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment, but hey, it's always cool to see these underrated villains pop up in the animated world. In the video game Wolverine Adamantium Rage from 1994, players get to step into Wolverine's shoes and face off against Bloodscream. He's just one of several boss characters you'll encounter in this action-packed game for the Super NES and the Sega Genesis Mega Drive. So, if you've ever dreamed of taking on Bloodscream as the adamantium-clawed badass himself, this game's got you covered. Get ready for some intense battles and unleash the inner Wolverine within you. Bloodscream may be underrated, but he's making his mark in other media appearances, from animated cameos to video game showdowns. This vampire villain is getting some well-deserved attention outside the pages of the comics. How powerful is Bloodscream? Alright nerds, let's break down just how powerful and intriguing Bloodscream really is. This vampire-like creature, thanks to Dagu's spell, boasts an array of superhuman attributes that set him apart. He has got life force absorption and control. Bloodscream has the ability to drain the life force out of people by touching their bare skin, leaving them looking like mummies with uncontrollable bleeding. Survivors are marked with a red scar shaped like his hand. Creepy stuff. He can also transform those he kills into mindless zombies under his command. It's like having a loyal army. With his insatiable appetite, Bloodscream gains superhuman strength, capable of hefting at least 2 tons when he feeds regularly. But beware folks, if he doesn't chow down for a long time, his strength dwindles faster than a kid's candy stash on Halloween night. Next up is his speed and agility. Bloodscream dashes around like a caffeinated roadrunner, faster than any Olympic athlete you can imagine. His stamina is top-notch too, allowing him to keep going for hours before breaking a sweat. This vampiric marvel also boasts a regenerative healing factor that's the stuff of legends. He can bounce back from any injury, even reattaching his own head like it's a party trick. And let's not forget, as long as he feasts regularly, he's virtually immortal and ageless, unfazed by any puny earthly disease. Shapeshifting is also in his spooky toolkit. Bloodscream can morph into a nightmarish, demonic figure with razor-sharp teeth and claws. Watch out, he might just give you a heart attack without even touching you. Besides his supernatural powers, Bloodscream's got serious combat skills. Centuries of experience have turned him into a master of armed and unarmed combat, and he's well connected in the criminal underworld, often moonlighting as a fearsome enforcer and bodyguard. But every villain has a chink in the armor, and Bloodscream is no exception. While he boasts invulnerability to mortal weapons, there's one exception: the honor sword of the Yashida clan, forged by a demon from meteorite iron. And if he goes on a fasting spree, his powers and vitality will run dry, potentially leading him to his doom. Bloodscream is one monstrous package of powers, but like all great villains, he's got his weak spot. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it, fellas. The mysterious origin of Bloodscream unveiled. From a spell gone wrong to becoming a vampire-like creature with a taste for life force. This character's story is as captivating as it is chilling. Let's raise a comic book and toast to Bloodscream's journey. With centuries of experience and a place in the criminal underworld, his story is far from over. Whether he's an enforcer, a bodyguard, or a relentless foe, Bloodscream will continue to weave his way through the Marvel Universe, thrilling and chilling us all. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.